Good morning, Raptor Freaks. Lexi Out's here, and it is Wednesday, so we're doing a Wow Wednesday, but I'm also going to do a Wild Card Wednesday too and open up a pack in honor of my niece. It was her birthday this week, and she gave me these cards to open up on air at Christmas. She's like, Uncle Lex, we would love to see you open packs on your show during your show, like an unboxing or like, how people do that on YouTube channels. So I'm going to open this Wild Card Wednesday pack of Panini Mosaic cards from this past year. And yeah, we'll do that today also. But there is a wow for today, and it is a very particular, specific wow, and it centers around center Kem Birch. Yes. Oh my gosh. There's a lot of news about Kem Birch. So we'll get to it in just a sec. But let me check out what you guys are saying in the chat first. Trevor's saying, good morning, Raptors family. Don't think of the things you didn't get after praying for them. Think of all the countless blessings God gave you without asking. That's a good way to be, for sure. For sure. It's real easy to look at what you lack in your life and get hung up on it. The more you look at that, comparison's the thief of happiness. If you're looking at other people and seeing what other people have in their life, well, that was meant for their life, and you're meant for your own things. And if you really want things that other people have, well, you're going to be miserable. In some ways, you can get the things that other people have if you work hard for them and if you really, really want them yourself. But in some ways, some things are just meant to be a certain way, and you've got to be okay with it. So a really big factor in Buddhism is to think about, not needing things, is to be someone who's very content in the moment and the now, and that material objects or specific things should not want. In some ways, humans are trained to want things by consumer society and big corporations that want to make you feel like you need to go get more and spend more and consume more. Well, it's all bullshit. If you go back to the history of man, well, everything we need is within ourselves. And if you need something, well, man's ingenuity and has adapted and done things like built fire, build houses, and done stuff like that. So I would say this: comparison is the thief of happiness. And in some ways, make the best of the hand you're dealt, is what I would say. Yeah. Trevor J., thank you for your words of wisdom. And he's saying the Raptors are said to have worked out with a G League Ignite prospect forward, 6'9" Tyler Smith. I like this. We scouted Tyler Smith on this channel in a scout of the day. And I think he's very good. In fact, I would put him on maybe in my top 5 of Lex's top 5 picks to draft in this draft as far as guys. Now, in some ways, he's coming from the G League Ignite, which has been a maligned organization in the last year. It was a complete failure last year. There was a lot of issues, and well, they're closing it down because it's just not working the way it's supposed to. In some ways, that may actually hurt his draft stock. But I'm going to tell you this right now. After seeing him play for G League Ignite in the last year against 905, and also scouting him again in the recent months, Tyler Smith is a very interesting prospect that could be overlooked, partly because of his connection with the G League Ignite. So I think he's a great long-armed defender, kind of big kind of guy. In some ways, he has shades of Nicholas Claxton to him. And, I like that. That's very attractive. And people keep saying, we need to get a Claxton on our team this summer. And I said, well, that's a high, high price. Maybe we can get our own guy that can be similar to Claxton and develop him ourselves. So Tyler Smith looks like that to me, is what I'm saying. All right, Trevor J's here. So maybe we'll do the classic card right off the bat real quick right now. Let me see who I get. All right, let me see. Just grab one, Lex. What are you doing? There's hardly any in here. So some of them are kind of like ones we've done before. So I'm just going to grab the first one I grab. Okay. All right. Hopefully we have our classic card people here that know their stuff. And also, I want y'all to not half-ass me. Full ass is here. He sees what's going on. We got to make sure we get this card with the full ass name. All right, here we go. First one to get it will get the card. So look real closely, y'all, and get it quickly, all right? You guys should be getting these off the top of your head. If anybody's doing an image search, that's bad. That's bad. You should be getting it from the top of your head. and looking at the cards, because if somebody has to Google image capture it and go find out that way, no, that's not the way to do it. That's cheating, in fact. All right, here we go. Here's the guy. Here we go. He's wearing goggles and he's in a Bucks jersey. Who is that, guys? Full name. Don't half-ass me. Full name. Don't half-ass me. Who is that? Who is that? This is a little difficult, and part of it is because this player is not known for playing for the Bucks, so it's kind of a throw off. It's kind of a red herring, so to speak. But yeah, I think that somebody could recognize him just from looking at him. Jalen Adams is wrong. Smooth got it. Undefeated. That is Orlando Woolridge. Look at that. Smooth Brown Man getting the classic card. Good job, Smooth Brown Man. Very, very happy about that. Yeah, Lou Cinder, like Lou Alcindor. Lou Cinder. Yeah. Your guess was going to be Joel Prisbilla. Yeah, Joel Prisbilla is a white guy, just so you know, Amit. Yeah, that is Orlando Woolridge. Of course, more well-known for playing for the Lakers, the Bulls, the Nuggets, quite a few teams. And look how far into his career he was at this point. He had played for the Bulls, the Nets, the Lakers, the Nuggets, the Pistons, and then finally the Bucks. So he was in like his 12th season at this point when he was on the Bucks. Yeah, Orlando Woolridge, the Big O. That one of the Big O's there. So Smooth Brown Man, undefeated once again at the classic card. Good job, Smooth. You know, next year when we do the classic card every day, I'm going to predict this right now. Next season for trivia is going to be very competitive between the young man that's 15 years old who's trying to win this championship right now and is winning, and also the Smooth Brown Man, because I'm telling you, he's going to get classic card points all year long this time instead of just cleaning up at the end. So it's going to be very interesting. Of course, Fiercey probably will be involved in trying to compete once again next year also. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens next season. And also there's some surprises about the trivia season for next season that are going to be revealed once this season's over. So yeah, very, very interesting stuff happening with Raptor Streak trivia. Trust me, very, very interesting. All right, Trevor's saying, do you ever think why bills never go on sale like rent, 50% off, or buy one light bill, get the gas bill for free, car loan, pay what you can afford? How come we don't get these options? You know, listen, society and the government and the rules of law and what they're doing with politicians is setting up welfare for the rich and the corporations. We're at a weird place in history where very, very rich people pay a lower tax rate than average people, and it's absolutely criminal. Absolutely criminal and wrong. And it really is because that money has consolidated the top and they're paying off the politicians to make the rules in their favor. There's no reason why we should be, as taxpayers, bailing out Boeing, the auto companies, the gas companies, all these big, huge companies that can't be too big to fail. Bullshit. If they are not doing good business, if they are not taking care of their businesses correctly, they deserve to fail. I'm sorry. So any kind of handouts, they go to all the people that don't need them. And the people that desperately need them get ignored. So you put me on a politician's tip all of a sudden, political tip, Trevor. But yeah, that's how it is. Welfare for the rich, socialism for the rich and corporations, and hard, cold capitalism for everybody else. Yeah, it's disgusting. It's not Jesus-like. I'll tell you that right now. It's evil is what it is. There you go. Boom goes a dynamite. Yeah, don't get me started, Trevor. I will get going on this. Seriously. Amit's saying, as Jack Armstrong says, bonjour, bonjour, bonjour. Amit's saying this. I loved Cam Birch, but him, Aaron Baines, and Alex Len were so painful to watch. Now, I'm going to stop you right there. No, Amit, don't lump Cam Birch in with Baines and Len. No. No, those guys are a whole other level of bad, horrible, disgusting, and depressing. No, Cam Birch was a savior, Amit. Cam Birch was solid. As you know, it wasn't even him that first showed up and made me feel like this. It was Freddie Gillespie. And that year in Tampa, yeah, it was a disaster, losing Serge and Mark, and then changing them into Alex Len and Aaron Baines. Absolute disaster. Two big fails. In fact, I would say Alex Len was better than Baines. Baines getting shoved down our throats as our starting center was horrible. Well, we got Freddie Gillespie eventually. And Freddie Gillespie was a breath of fresh air. In some ways, he was a savior at center, and he wasn't even that good. He was that much better than those other two guys I just named. Then we got Kem on top of that. And boom, it was even better. He was a solid, serviceable center. So, Ahmet, do not sully the name of Kem Birch by putting him in a comparison with those other two guys. There are levels to this. And Kem was a serviceable, okay starting center that did good things for us. The other thing we got to say about Kem Birch at that time was he was hurt the whole time he was a Raptor. He was never actually healthy the whole entire time. He was grounded to the earth. It was very strange. He couldn't barely jump. He had a knee injury that was persisting and really didn't get a chance to get healed. Well, something's changed, Amit. Something has changed. Let's just say, yeah, but don't do that to him. He doesn't deserve to be in that category with them. He really doesn't. He really, really doesn't. Cowboy saying, good morning, Lex and Raptor Freaks. Dap to you, Bradley, Canadian Cowboy, Ta-da Services. That's right. Bradley can help you. It's cleaning services at 647-833-6844. Bradley will come and clean your tile and your grout. If you're like have a nasty bathroom and you ain't done jack shit with it for like years, yeah, he's not afraid. He'll come in there and he'll sandblast that shit out, right? Yeah, he'll take care of it. So if you need help with anything like your tile is all nasty, Bradley will come and help you. Ta-da. Cleaning service, 647-833-6844 in the greater Toronto area. They'll even come out to where I'm at, way up north, up here in central Ontario. That's right. Cowboy, we love you. Dap, dap, dap. Monique is here. The super fan, the greatest. Monique Lawrence is here. And she's saying, good morning, Raptor Freak family. Kem looks too great. Too great? Nah, he looks great. Hey, he can look greater than great. I'll be happy with it. He can be the greatest like you. And I'd be so happy. Glad I can help with the content, Lex. Go, Canada. Yes, Monique helping me get the content subject for today by sharing a very incredible clip on our Raptor Freak stream. And this is what I want y'all to come and watch real quick. Because honestly, let me get the link and I will let y'all see this. You guys need to go watch this because this is what I'm talking about today. This is exactly what I'm talking about today. I'm putting the link in. If you have not watched this particular clip right here, are they going to let me do this? They're not going to let me do this because I think it's because it's Twitter. All right, let me try this. Let me try and go to the actual and we'll show you there. All right, this is really incredible. Honestly, you're going to see this and you guys are going to be like, whoa. So please go and look. Go seriously. Go watch this clip right now. I'll bullshit for a couple minutes. You watch this clip real quick and come back and we'll talk about Kem Birch, okay? Please watch this clip. The link that I just put in this chat box right here. Click on that and watch that. Amit, everybody else. Everybody who has not watched it already. Watch that clip and then come back and let's talk. All right. Seriously, you're going to have to watch this. Monique, thank you for sharing this. This is the thing. Kem got traded last year from the Raptors for Jakob Poeltl or something like that, right? We got Jakob a couple years ago and we got Kem. And well, last year, Kem was a little bit on the Spurs, but then he got cut. And then he did play a little bit for the Spurs. And then he got cut and he went overseas and he started playing in EuroLeague over in Europe. Well, he wasn't totally healthy, but now he is. And he's performing athletically in a totally different way than he has in recent years. As in the title, I said he looks 7 years younger than what he looked like in the last couple of years playing for the Raptors. Watch that clip and tell me what you think. Seriously, because it's not anything like what he looked like when he played for the Raptors even. That's the crazy thing. Now, he was solid as a good rim protector and space beater upper for the Raptors. He's an excellent defender. He's an excellent rebounder, and he is really good at getting in between people and playing a certain way. Also, Kem has been playing in EuroLeague. He's been playing with a lot of the players that are going to be at Olympics for the European teams. So he's familiar with a lot of the personnel. He's been involved with Team Canada squads over the years. It's not like he's Wiggins and said no. He's shown up when Team Canada needed him as a center, and he's played in all the different levels of the tournaments, whether it's the FIBA World Cup or whatever. He has been there for Canada. So he has a familiarity and a time with a lot of the guys on Team Canada playing with them. Now, it's recently come out that Rich Paul has announced that Tristan Thompson has withdrawn his name for consideration to play for Team Canada this summer. So Tristan is not an option to be coming to this team. I guess he just doesn't want to go to practice and try out for the team and get rejected. So him and Rich Paul have said, nah, he's not even going to come. So he's not even an option at this point, Tristan. That's disappointing, but not a surprise considering Clutch and how they are. So we may need more centers. In fact, some people have said center may be one of the weakest positions for Canada since we have such great wings and guards. I won't disagree, but, the future's bright with people like Oliver Ryu and Zach Edey coming up. Well, Kelly Olynyk, Kem Birch, Zach Edey. Is that a great center three for our Team Canada this summer? I think so. And I think it's because Kem's finally healthy. You watch that clip that I just shared, that Monique shared with us yesterday, and you will see what I'm talking about. You will see Kem Birch getting up above the rim like I've never seen him do before since he was in Orlando as a very young NBA player. You will see Kem Birch agile, running around and looking like he has full mobility and full leaping ability that he never, ever had when he played for the Raptors. So, let's Brian Winters this real quick. If this guy's moving like this and he has experience with FIBA and we need a center, why don't we put Kem Birch on the Team Canada squad that's going to Paris this summer? I think that it's a very, very good thing. I think that I would advocate for it today. If you're listening to me, Rowan Barrett Sr., if you're listening to me, Jordy Fernandez, listen to me. Kem Birch is going to come in there and you're going to see a vitality in Kem Birch's legs that we ain't seen in like 5 years. And you seriously got to consider the experience and the time already served with Team Canada as far as considering him to be on that roster that plays in Paris. I'm telling you, I'm so proud of Kem Birch. Wendy Sparks, his mother, very proud. As she says, Kem can play anywhere and he's going to be great. And that's exactly right. Kem Birch has played all around the world. He played in the USA. He's played in Canada. He's played all over Europe. He's very worldly international basketball player for Canada. And I fully advocate him being one of the 12. Now, a lot of people may be flashy NBA fans, young fans just want to stack the team. They're going to be like Trey Lyles or Brandon Clark or Shaden Sharp or all this kind of crap. No. The USA are coming with their veteran crew of older generation NBA players. We need to have experience. And I would love to just make it all NBA, just like you guys want to. Not really, no. In some ways, I want the guys like Melvin Ejim and Kem Birch on this team because you need dirty work. You need guys who are role players. And that's the thing that USA is going to find out when they fail to win the gold. So I'm just saying, Kem Birch, I'm advocating for him today. And if you guys watch that clip that I put the link in the chat, you will see what I'm talking about. You'll be like, oh my God, I wish Kem Birch was playing for the Raptors this year. Seriously, it's that eye-opening. Like, it's crazy. I looked at that clip and I'm like, is that from like 10 years ago or 5 years ago or 7 years ago? No, that is from recently. And that is what he's been doing there. Michael Grange tweeting that this is what he said. He said, I'm hearing that Kem Birch has accepted a training camp invite with Canada basketball men's national team back at full health. He finished season in Spain, averaging 20 minutes per game in 12 games with Girona. He is part of the summer core, but hasn't played since the 2019 World Cup due to injury. That's right. See, he has a history of showing up for Canada and being there for them. Well, we might need him again because, we need center depth. So I'm fully advocating for that today. Yeah. Thank you, Monique, for sharing that clip. And it really opened my eyes. That's right. David's saying, Amit, you cannot compare Kem to Aaron Baines. That's just criminal. Yeah, I agree with that. Not to slight Aaron Baines, because in some ways, Aaron Baines was a good guy. He tried his hardest, but it was just a huge fail. And in some ways, I feel sad for Aaron Baines and what happened to him after his career with us and getting hurt in Japan in a scary health situation. Now, listen, a lot of people in Raptors Nation make Aaron Baines a punchline, and that's not fair to him. And in some ways, he's being used against us to troll us. He is a former Celtic, and Celtics Nation uses Baines and their love for him against us in some ways. If you go and look on the NBA website, they put our schedule out, and they put all the jerseys in 46. There's only one player who ever played 40, wear number 6 for the Raptors, and that's the NBA trolling us for Aaron Baines in the Tampa season. So just to be aware, there are people in the head office that are very much trolling us and are anti-Raptors. And that was the proof for me at the beginning of the season. When I went to look at the Raptors schedule on the official NBA website, this isn't ESPN, this is anybody but the NBA website, they had Baines' number on all our games as the home jersey. And I'm like, why are they putting the number 46 on our schedule? Oh, the NBA is actually anti-Toronto Raptors, and they are trolling us. There's somebody in the front office that is. I mean, that's the evidence right there. Bobby, Masai, you're listening to me? You can go and look at our schedule on the NBA website and understand they're trolling us from the head office. And in some ways, the fans can see that it isn't impartial in the NBA, because obviously there's head office people that are anti-Toronto by doing troll moves like that. And they troll us with our schedule too. So yeah, I'm just saying. Yeah. All right, let's keep going. Fiercey's here. Good to see Fiercey Salsera. Good morning, fam, and happy Wednesday. Great words of wisdom as usual, Trevor. I'm rooting for Cam. Truly hope he makes it to the Canada team. He looked good in the clips. He looks really good. Like he's elevating different than I've seen in the last half decade. He has not gotten up on the rim like that in a long time. When young Cam was on Orlando, he had a lot of hops and he had a lot of length that he could jump with. The thing is, Kem's a really good shot blocker. And if he can jump again, well, he's going to block shots even better. I mean, he was blocking shots for us grounded to the earth when he was on Toronto. So, the fact that he can leap now again, yeah, he might be a very good shot blocker for Canada at the Paris Olympics. So I'm all about it. I fully advocate. Yeah. Amit saying not comparing them. Ken was the best out of three for sure. You're right on that one, Amit. Yeah. But none of them should have gotten starter level minutes. I could argue because I had no problem with Kem Birch starting. I think that he was a very solid starter for us. A lot of people were anti-Kem. I was very much a pro-Kem, fighting for Kem's honor person this whole time on this channel when Kem Birch was around our team. I love him being a Canadian. I love him being a young Toronto Raptors fan. When he grew up in Montreal, his father would drive him from Montreal to go to Raptors game when Vince was playing for us. So in some ways, he's a real one. He's one of the real ones, like Kelly and RJ, as far as a Canadian guy who was a Raptors fan when he was a kid, who realized the dream of playing for the Raptors, like Delano, like Kelly, like RJ. So I have extra respect for him, and I wouldn't put that disrespect on him to put him in that group. He is a better than that, and I would say he was a good starting center for us at times when he was fully healthy. So, yeah, I can't say that. I can't say that he didn't deserve starter minutes because he was our best option a lot of the times and most of those times before we got Jakob. So, yeah. Seymour saying, Birch, baby. That's right, Kem Birch. Who would have thought Lex would be doing a Kem Birch stream in 2024 after the history and what seemed like what was happening with him when he finally went to San Antonio from our team. Yeah. David's saying, do y'all remember the 2 times Baines shot the ball that season and it literally didn't go anywhere? Laugh out loud. Oh, man, his low light reel is epic. Yeah, I'm trying to forget him, David. In some ways, I only bring him up when I have to. In some ways, I want to respect the man because it's not his fault. And in some ways, I don't want to add anything to this weird energy that people are saying, the Raptors disrespected Aaron Baines. And you know what? We just wanted it to work, but it didn't. And it really was the whole thing. It wasn't just him. It was us being displaced. It was just everything was chaos that season. And in some ways, he is a patsy for it. And because he was the biggest fail of the whole part of it. And yeah, he was really bad, David. You're right. He was really bad on the court. Amit saying, bro, Len and Baines gave me aneurysms. Yikes. Yeah. Len was better than him. And that's part of the reason why Alex Len asked to leave is because he was playing better than Aaron. But Aaron got the minutes over him because Nick kept putting Aaron in the starting lineup. I would have started Len. Seriously. I don't know if that would have hurt Baines' confidence. Probably that may have been why Nick Nurse at that time wasn't trying to start Len over Baines. But Alex Len was playing way better at that time. And in some ways, I don't fault Alex Len for saying, I want to get out of here if I'm going to have to play behind this Australian guy who absolutely sucks. So, and he went to the Wizards, and he was a very serviceable rotation player for the Wizards in the years after that. So, and he's still playing right now. I mean, Aaron Baines is not in the NBA. Alex Len is on the Kings right now, still currently. So it's weird. In some ways, I would have played Alex Len and used him more than we tried to use Baines at that time. Smooth Brown Man saying, good morning, all. Kem Birch? He's got a question mark. Not sold on him on Team Canada, respectfully. For me, Tristan Thompson's game is better suited for FIBA. He should be the guy. Well, I guess you didn't hear what I said. It's official that this is what has been said. The weakest, all right, this is after Rich Paul's announcement that his client, Tristan Thompson, will not participate in the Paris Olympics. Canada is only left with Dwight Powell, 22-year-old Zach Edey, as the only true centers on the team. Kelly Olynyk and Dylan Brooks might see time at center. Yeah, we don't want Dylan Brooks playing at center in FIBA. No. Who's saying that? No. So Tristan has officially withdrawn his name from consideration to be on Team Canada as per Rich Paul and Clutch, Smooth. So he's not even an option. As much as it would have been fun to see Tristan talk trash to LeBron and his buddies on Team USA if we played them, as much as he could have been an enforcer, a big body, an experienced guy to help us in FIBA competition, no, he's out. And he's being exactly how I thought he would be. Yeah, he's not available for us at this point. Yeah. So there you go. Tristan Thompson, being Tristan Thompson as usual. Yeah, so Kem Birch, in some ways, he's the next best option, if you ask me. Seriously. Kareem's here. Good to see Kareem. Full ass. We've very much missed you on Saturday, and I know you did everything you could to make that happen, Kareem, but it just didn't. But you know you're going to get your prize for being the dunk champion. At some point, I am going to run into you, and I'm going to give you that book. And don't worry about it, Kareem. I know that you felt some guilt about not making it. Life happens, and we understand, and we just look forward to future meetups where you can make it and we can be in your presence. Yeah. He's saying, I like Kem, the Canadian, but from my perspective, when he was on the Raptors, that he has no finish, no touch around the rim. I don't want him on Team Canada. Would rather Boucher in his hustle. See, now this is where I'm going to disagree with Kareem. And it really is because in some ways, when you look at Boucher and Birch, one's a really good FIBA made player and one is a guy who's not made for the FIBA game. And that's the biggest difference right there. Now, Kareem, you're saying this about the touch with Kem, but that's not true. He was like a over 50% shooter for our team overall. Even from three, he shot over 50% from three. So he's a good shooter. I don't understand why you're saying he doesn't have good touch. There were often times when he's playing for the Raptors, he did little good Kevin McHale up and under moves and all kinds of moves to juke the guy off of him and make the basket really patiently with well-timed footwork. So I won't agree with you on this as far as he wasn't good around the basket. And now, Kareem, I'm going to ask you to watch that clip I posted in the chat today and then tell me what you think about Kem Birch at this point, because it's not the same player. And there's something very different about him when he's healthy. Let's just put it that way. His knee problem's gone, and he looks like he's 20 again. I'm telling you, it's crazy. It looks so weird. Now, Boucher, he just doesn't have the weight to throw around against the huge players on teams like Vucevic and Valanciunas on Lithuania. These guys are huge, and they're not the only huge guys on their team. Lithuania is going to have Valanciunas plus 2 or 3 other big, huge guys the same size as him. So we need big guys that are strong, that can push people around. And Chris can't do that, unfortunately. Chris is a great player. He's a great NBA player, but Chris is not a good FIBA player. And that's why he probably is not even in consideration or getting an invite to Team Canada practice. Maybe he is, just to show honor and respect and say, dude, we're considering you, but it's a long shot. But Kem Birch has a way better chance. And Kareem, I'm telling you, watch that clip. Seriously, click on it and look at it. It's whoa. I was like, wow. I was like, Masai, maybe you need to get Kem back. Maybe you need to get him to come back, Masai. Maybe you need to get Kem to come back to Toronto on a download. Nobody knows what's happened with him recently. Yeah. All right, there's your answers for the classic card. I'd love to see David competing in there. And yeah, Lou Alcindor, that's all I got. David's saying, Smooth is the GOAT. Seriously on that. He really does know his classic cards. And look at that, Orlando Woolridge. I would have thought somebody say Jeff Green or something like that, because there was a guy named Jeff Green who kind of looked like that back in the day. Let's see. Yeah. Jalen Smith is an interesting guest. Jalen Smith, of course, a current player. I guess this could be what Jalen Smith would have looked like if he played in the 80s. Jalen Smith is a little bit more muscle than Jalen Smith on Orlando. Orlando had crazy biceps. And he was one of those guys that was he was a real scorer for Chicago. He was kind of around when Michael came into the league, and then he kind of got shipped out to make room for Jordan on the Bulls. And he was a very good scorer. He could average over 20 points a game, but he wasn't really known as a tough guy. But he was a tough guy too. That's the thing. He was known as a scorer, but Orlando Woolridge would not back down to people. Seriously, he was kind of like Xavier McDaniel in that kind of way. The X-Man and Orlando Woolridge were two of those strongest players. You could see it in their muscles. Seriously, you can see it in their muscles. I'm saying, other than Bogut, he's the only guy I know that wore 6 on the Bucks. Yeah. Okay. So he is going off the top of his head. He's like Joel Presbilla. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, Amit, good job trying to figure it out. All right. Let's see. Oh, wow. I see some sad news in the chat right now. I'll get to it when I get down there. But right now, let me continue with the chat in the place that I'm at. Amit's saying, or full ass is saying, he looks like the guy from the Temptations, David Ruffin. It looks like David Ruffin's. Yeah. I got to think of a Temptation song. It's just my imagination. I don't know. I always get all those old Motown groups confused, and I'll be singing one, and I'll be like, "No, Lex, that's not the Temptations. That's the Platters. What are you doing?" My girl, my girl, my girl, talking about my girl, my girl. Yeah. Smooth saying, I actually met Orlando as a little child. That's cool, man. Orlando Woolridge was awesome. He's a really good dunker, and he was involved in a lot of the early dunk contests against Michael and Dominique. You see Orlando Woolridge in those, and he did like a really nice, like he had a little spin dunk that he used to do. He'd bring his arms around, and like it wasn't a windmill like Dominique coming around like that, or like a Vince Carter kind of windmill. It was more of a round in front of him dunk. It was really weird. He'd go, woo. It's like, it was very strange. But yeah, that's very cool that you got to meet him as a child, Smooth. Very, very cool. Cool dude. Yeah, he seemed like a really down-to-earth guy. I love that he was a Piston for a while. Yeah, he was really big in the Lakers. When he played for the Lakers, they really liked him there. Fiercely saying, I think Smooth should have an award on his own. He's been extremely impressive. Well, that's what I was saying earlier. Next year, when we start it and we do the classic card 365 days a year, well, you think about it. That's 365,000 points right there. Or wait, no, maybe that's not right. 36,500 points from the classic card of the day that people can get for next year. So 36,500 points will be coming from the classic card after we're done with the season. Now, I love the classic card concept. It could be that we're changing the how much the points are for it. It could be that things are very different. I don't know totally what's going to happen with the trivia season next year, just so y'all know. I really don't. It's going to be different, though. We're going to do it differently. Neil's here. Good to see Blackhawk in the house. Great to see Blackhawk on Saturday in person with his daughter and share a dinner with them and see how they're doing and just catch up a little bit. Neil, so grateful you dropped by and you made your presence felt at Mo's birthday party. Awesome to see you, and great to meet your daughter. She seems like such a nice young lady, just very, very, very nice. And man, what a spicy jerk chicken sandwich. Blackhawk saying you need to hashtag that, Lex. Hashtag what? I'm going to try and figure out what you want me to hashtag. Fill it in. Randolph's here. Good to see Randolph Phillips. Good morning, beloved Raptor Freaks. Most informative gang blessings. The grass may seem greener on the other side. Do not covet. Be content with what you have and have faith in your own life. That's right. Boom goes the dynamite. You know, our great creator above, he does things that intends. In some ways, it's what he intends for you. He will give you his path for you. And in some ways, you don't want to question that path. And in some ways, if you are naturally trying to change that path in a weird way, some other direction, well, he might correct you in a very, very powerful way that you didn't even realize. So great words of wisdom from our guys, Trevor and Randolph today. Blessings to the Phillips family and all the Raptor Freaks families for sure. I love this. You guys kind of piggybacked on each other, and Randolph kind of added a bit more to it. I love it. Yeah. Monique saying all the best to Yuta once again in Japan. Thank you, Mo, for the next cue card on former Raptors that are doing well internationally, like Kem Birch. Yuta Watanabe has spurned any offers from NBA teams and is going to sign with Chiba in Japan. So he will be playing professionally next season once again in his home country. And I don't fault him for that. In some ways, the money is better there for him at this point. And also, he is a bona fide NBA player. So he is such a draw in Japan, and he is such a face of their national team that, you know what, this be home. Plus, we know that Yuta got engaged, and I don't know if he's married now. By now, he probably is. And so he has a young family he's probably starting, and he wants to be near his wife or his fiance, his spouse, and she very much is probably very much centered out of Japan with her career. So it all makes sense why Utah would be spurning the NBA for his home country and playing professionally there. So you go, Utah. You're the face of Japanese basketball, and you keep doing what you do, my guy. That's right. That's right. Smooth saying that Fiercely Salsera. Thanks again. 90s nerd. Yeah, 90s nerds are cool. I'm an 80s nerd too. I love the 80s. A lot of people are really into the 90s right now. It's kind of like every decade gets a redo a couple decades later. Like there's the 80s coming back, but the 90s are really in strong full effect right now. But yeah, I was an 80s kid. So my decade of like feeling so happy and thinking about stuff is, of course, the 1980s. But I love the 90s also. There's a lot of very cool things that happened in the 90s, like grunge and, the attitude era of wrestling. So there's a lot about the 90s I love too. Those are probably my two favorite decades. 80s first, 90s second. Yeah. Yeah. I think a lot of people are saying now that the world is kind of peaked in the 90s, and now it's all gone downhill since. Maybe that coincided with the internet. I think that's what it is. It coincided with the internet, and that's why civilization peaked in the 90s. All right, let's see. Blackhawk saying, fuck welfare for the rich. There you go. That's what Neil wanted me to make the hashtag for. That's right. Welfare for corporations is disgusting because they take the money from our taxpayers' dollars, and instead of helping their company get back above water, they do stock buybacks, and they enrich the shareholders. And then on top of that, they'll give a CEO who's a failure a huge parachute, golden parachute on their way out. They'll be like leaving, like the Boeing CEO recently, and he's going to get like $500 million on his way out. You're a failure. Why are you getting rewarded for failing at your job? It's the most ridiculous scam at the highest level. And that's why when Mike tells me criminals are the problem in the system, no, it's the Boeing executive that got 50 million leaving a failed company. Come on now, open your eyes. The welfare for the rich is coming from us, and they're just like acting like they deserve it. No, they don't. And that's why the system needs to be changed, maybe even destroyed, because it needs to be right and right for all of us, and not just for some greedy ass people who just happen to find themselves in a position where they can manipulate the system and politicians to do what they do. So there you go. Boom. I'll go off on this. Oh, yeah, I will. That's right. So we're saying card in the 2000s, I'm lost. See, he's got his sweet spot. He's got a good area with the 80s and the 90s cards. You go past that, Smooth may not do as well. But you guys, some of y'all will do way better on those ones. That's right. Unless they're Raptors or Knicks, he's going to know the ones recently. Now, I hope that this click on this chat, click on this link that I put on here, y'all have watched it, and I want to hear y'all's opinions on what you're seeing about Cam. Kareem, look at that link that's in the chat right there. I'm telling you, man. Seymour saying, who's Baines, Len, and Gillespie? He doesn't even know who we're talking about. You know what, Seymour? For not knowing who those people are, I'm going to give you a dunk. Actually, I'll give you a three-pointer. I love that. He's just like, who the hell are they? We're going to get you. You're 68, my guy. 68 dunks for the Sheriff Seymour Pape holding it down in Alberta for us. Yeah, who the hell are they? I love Freddie, though. I thought Freddie Gillespie was good, though. And he was just on the cusp of being an NBA player. He got his bit of time, and he can say he played in the NBA, and that's an accomplishment in itself. Freddie just wasn't good enough to make the team the next year. But yeah, Freddie, you helped us in Tampa, and I appreciate Freddie Gillespie a lot. And he's somebody I will never forget for saving us at the center position in Tampa, because he did. He was a huge upgrade just from Baines and Len. And man, he made a hero out of himself then. Yeah. Fiercely saying, thank you for sharing Kem's link, Monique. Yeah, that's the thing. We're a think tank. We're a hive mind. And we have a lot of different people looking for everything. We don't miss stuff here at the Rapid Freak channel, because we got people like Monique, Trevor, myself, Isaac Campbell, Fiercey, Cool Cat. We got all kinds of people bringing information from all kinds of different places to keep Raptors Nation as best informed as possible. And yeah, that clip is important. It is eye-opening, and it will show you exactly why I want Kem Birch to be in Paris playing for the red and white. Canada. That's right. Yeah, yeah. Amit's saying, where's Birch playing now? He was playing in, as Michael Grange said, he was playing in the Euro League in France and over there, playing against the top level over there in Europe. So he's been playing good competition, just not the NBA, like the next level down. And I'm telling you, he looks so good. G saying, good job, Kem. His movement looks so much more fluid. I know. And he's getting up higher, G. Like he's elevating like I hadn't seen him elevate since he was on the Magic. And that's the very interesting thing about it. Good morning to Victor J, Sixers Nation, coming in to check on us. How are you doing today, Victor? Getting rid of Siakam was a huge mistake and will set the Raptors back 5 years, in my opinion. All right. Thank you for your opinion. It was not solicited. But I'll allow it. We'll talk about it. You're not totally being any kind of anti this or that. You're just making an opinion. I will say this. The situation with Siakam was a situation that just needed to be moved on from. Now, I feel like we did pretty good in the trade. Some people are saying that trade was really bad, but I don't think so. Even if Bruce Brown is going to turn into something this summer, and those 3 first-round picks are awesome. Trust me, those 3 first-round picks are awesome. You want this to happen, Sixers fan. Well, I'll tell you what I predicted for your team happened exactly how I predicted last summer. So you want to predict some stuff for us? I'll predict some things for you too. How about that? And I'm going to predict as long as your coach is Nick Nurse and your main important player is Joel Embiid, well, you're going to run your team in the ground with bad health by the end of the season every single year. Joel Embiid will never, ever win a championship. He is just in that particular position where he is so incredibly important to his team that he's absolutely essential for them to be at the top-notch level that they can be, but he's also so injury-prone that he will never, ever, 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 ever survive a whole entire NBA season and a playoff healthy so that y'all can actually win a championship with him. So I would tell you this, Sixers fan, maybe you should think about letting New York just go ahead and take Embiid off your hands so that you can move on to your next era because he's going to block you from ever getting an Larry O'Brien with him on the team. I'm telling you, he's never going to win a Larry O'Brien in this league because he's that kind of player. And what I just said is exactly it. And the funny thing is, even if he goes to New York and he's coached by Thibodeau, it's the same situation. It's the same situation. We saw it with OG. We saw it with him running down all the Knicks. So, yeah, you go ahead, Sixers fan. You tell me what we need to do and what we did as mistakes. I'll tell you Tobias Harris to your face and Jimmy Butler right after that. So you go ahead. You tell me how we're running our team wrong. You go ahead, process. All right, let's keep going. Seymour Sim. Hold on. Okay. He balling. You saw that, Seymour. You saw what Kem looks like right now. You saw that clip. And you're like, hold on, wait a second. And Neil's saying Kem was always good. It was just his knee that was holding him back. Exactly. The thing about Kem is he's a cerebral player. He's smart. And he has a really good sense for spacing and defensive spacing in particular. The one thing I really loved about Kem that I noticed in his career with the Raptors is he meets the offensive player. He doesn't wait for them to come to him when it's too late and they're already elevating near the basket and coming up over him. He will come out and run to them and make the wall as soon as he can. And that is a really, really smart anticipation defensive player that cuts off room for people to move towards him. And that's also the reason why he would get charges just like Kyle Lowry, the GOAT. So I'm just saying, listen, there's an intelligence, there's a shot blocking, there's a rim protecting, there's a space eater, there's a rebound. And these are all very good role player kind of traits for a team like FIBA's competition at the Olympics for Canada. And that's what I'm saying. He was always holding it down. He was on the ground anchored. He couldn't get up. And well, now he can get up too. So that's what I'm trying to tell y'all. All right, let's see. Kareem saying, I might have to retract my statement on his finishing at the rim. Like Smooth said, I would rather Tristan or Boucher. Yeah, Tristan's out of the picture, and Chris is not the right one. I'm telling you, that clip is amazing. Tom saying, haha, Victor, we miss Siakam, but have a bright new future. You know nothing apparently about what we got cooking. Yeah, and apparently the Siakam thing was just a done deal. Part of the energy around our team that was off and wrong that cleared up once we made those trades was Siakam. Let's just put it that way. Pascal and OG, as much as we love them, their time with the Raptors had expired. And in some ways, we didn't want to put a bunch of capital from our salary cap into those two particular players like they're going to get this summer. In some ways, we need to free things up for the fresh new era of BBQ. And Emmanuel Quickly and Scotty are going to get our bags this summer. instead of OG Anunoby and Pascal Siakam. And that is very much a good decision by Masai and Bobby. So go ahead, Sixers fan. Go ahead and think what you want. You want me to start talking about y'all picking Tobias Harris over Jimmy Butler? I'll bet that'll real sting if I start talking about that too in depth. Yeah, you picked him over me? And Jimmy's saying that still. Himmy, how could you do that to Jimmy? Why would you do that to him? Oh, I love it when the other fans come in here. That's right. I love it when the other fans come in here. Victor's saying, Sixers building a super team, Raptor Freak. Get ready. Yeah, if it'll stay, the parts will stay on the car. One wheel's going to go running off the road. I don't know what super team you're going to start. You may have stole our coach from us. Whatever. Feel good about that. But as I said earlier, I'll stand by my opinions on Joel all day long. I love and respect Tyrese Maxey, the great Kentucky Wildcat and friend of Emmanuel Quickley. I think he's an amazing player. I will not speak badly about him. But I'll speak badly about the rest of those goons and ugly-ass people over there in Philadelphia, except for my guy Kyle, too. We love Kyle, too. Your point guards are cool. Everybody else, they can GTFO. I want to see this super team you're talking about. You got to get rid of Tobias first, motherfucker. Black Ox saying Nick Nurse should have used Khem in short stints because his knee issue was known. Well, they were managing in some ways. I thought they were over babying Khem at times because it's like he's so much out, so much. I'm like, just put him out there. They were very cautious with Khem. The Raptors organization was very, very cautious with Khem, and they used him when they could. The thing with Khem during that period of time was he had day-to-day swelling in his knee, and they were managing fluids in his that were building up in his knee. And it was really kind of like the thing. The way it was he would come into practice and Nick would ask him, "How are you feeling today? How much can you do today?" And that's kind of how they went off of with Khem. It wasn't really Nick that ran him to the ground. He had these knee injury problems before he was on the Raptors, and they were just kind of really the worst while he was on the Raptors into the Spurs. I mean, he barely played for the Spurs. So I don't know if the short stints would have helped him. It was just that he had a really bad injury that just was not healing over a long period of time. And we had to manage the inflammation and swelling of his knee. So Tom's got Jakob, RJ, Scotty, and Kelly, and Masai on blast, along with Emmanuel and Darko. I love it. Amit's saying Kem Birch isn't playing in the EuroLeague. He's playing in the Spanish First Division League. Okay, thanks for clarifying me. Amit, he went and looked it up. See, this is a great thing. Amit's a great researcher. And you know what? I love fact checking. If I say something that isn't exactly right and you think that I'm off, go ahead and fact check me. I'm not above reproach. I love getting the facts straight. And I'm not some person who's like, oh, no, I'm right. I'll argue you blue in the face like a dumbass Trump person when they are absolutely wrong. No, if I'm wrong, I'll admit it. So you're saying he's in the first division of Spain. See, I don't totally understand the EuroLeague either. And I know Amit, partly because of where he lives, he understands EuroLeague probably a little bit better than me. Tom's got Masai on blast. I love it. Trevor's saying, Lex, do you think we should double back and get Ramsey back to the Raptors colors? Yes. 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 Out of those point guards that we tried out during the second half of the season on 10-day contracts, my favorite was Jamias Ramsey. He has a body type. He looked like Leandro Barboza. He had this great shoulders and arms and so strong. Really, really dogged defender. In some ways, his defense is first, but at the same time, he really is a very quality athlete with scoring and dunks. So, yes, no, he was number one. We're talking about Javon Freeman Liberty, DJ Carton, Marquise Noel, all the options that we kind of had between G League and people we were bringing in from other G League teams. He was the one I liked the absolute best out of all of them. In fact, we saw Jamias on just a 1 or 2 10-day contracts, and they let him go because in some ways I remember somebody from the front office of the Raptors saying, I think we saw enough with him. And then somebody asked them, was like, is he going to be a Raptor in the future? And they're like, their response made it seem like, yes, he's going to be, something's going to happen with Jamias this summer. I think he's a great prospect, and I would love for him to stick around the Raptors organization. So yeah. DJ Carton's good too. And if he hadn't gotten hurt, man, he would have had the opportunity to really make a name for himself in the NBA because that minutes were there. It's so sad that DJ Carton got hurt so suddenly in his career with the Raptors, because man, he could have shined, but he has something to show too. In some ways I like both of them way better than JFL. It's very interesting. JFL is interesting. He's a talented scorer, but those other two guys are better NBA players, if you ask me. They have more promise in different ways that can help an NBA team than Javon Freeman Liberty. That's kind of how I feel. Fiercely saying, I know he had surgery, not to sully our healthcare, but maybe he's getting better or different treatments in Europe to alleviate discomfort or help healing. I won't go so far to go to kind of like interpret it that way. I think that it's just the timeline of a body and healing, and that he just got enough time healing and got to a place where he actually feels even better and better. It's like that with a lot of people. You can have a nagging injury that really is bad for a couple of years, but then you get a certain treatment, or you get something like you do something slightly different with your diet, and all of a sudden you get totally different outcomes. I'm not going to say this has anything to do with our healthcare system, because we don't even know if he was using doctors in Canada fiercely. He could have been using doctors in the States for all we know. So without knowing his medical history very closely, and we shouldn't because that's confidential stuff, I would say that it's probably just time. Time heals all wounds, and time has healed him to the point where he can play like this again. Yeah, Carlos saying, laugh out loud, we got a Sixer in here today? Yeah, they pop up every once in a while. And it's interesting. I've never met Jay Victor. He's a new Sixers fan. We've had our favorite Sixers fan, Random Gamer, who was in school. He'd come in and talk to us from times. We have Blue Steel City. They're pretty cool too. Then we have friendly Sixers fans that we talk to and we have no problem with, and we can have like a friendly like discussion between fan nations. But there's obviously a lot of like very proud Sixers fans who are going to come in and talk like Victor J. Well, yeah, I had the good retorts, didn't I? Himmy Butler, what did you do to him? That was the best Sixers team. I'm going to say this right now. Y'all think your Sixers team from this past season was the best Sixers team you guys have had? No. It was the one that got beat by Kawhi, the shot. That was your best Sixers team in the last 10 years. The one with J.J. Redick and Jimmy Butler on it. That was your best Sixers team. You've been worse since. And even this past year with Nick Nurse as your coach, you weren't better than you were the year that you guys played us and we put your ass out. Yeah. Somebody's saying, disregard. I'm TT comment. Most unfortunate. Oh, Tristan Thompson. Yeah, I really thought it mattered to him playing for Canada, losing out a historic run potentially. Yeah, and the clock's ticking. It could be that he just didn't want to feel like the Lakers this week and get rejected. I bet you that's what it is. Rich Paul and them were probably thinking about it. You know, Tristan, your chances of making Team Canada are probably not that good. Well, I don't even want to go, Rich, then. All right, Tristan, we'll call them. We'll tell them that you're not going to come to your invite. There you go. It's as simple as that. He's too busy making a Drake video. All right, let's keep going. Let's see. Seymour saying he got to stay healthy. It's a risk, but it looks promising. Well, I don't know if he's going to re-injure himself. We can't worry about that. If he's at this place at this time like that, you know, hey, let's go. That's what I'm saying. And Cam, once again, he has time served with RJ and Kelly and Dylan and Lugetz. So he's played alongside these guys. It's not like you're adding an ingredient that is absolutely foreign that these guys have to meld into, like maybe a Shaden Sharp would be, or a Trey Lyles, or a Brandon Clark. When those younger guys, those guys haven't been around. They haven't done jack shit in any of the cycles of Team Canada in the last 5-6 years. So you put Cam in there, who's actually been doing work with all the Team Canada guys at times in the past. It's a better fit. It's what I'm saying right here. Yeah. Victor's saying Raptors are a number one option away from being legit. So who are you guys looking at? Well, we really like our, our number one option is Scotty. He is. In some ways, he's not really. In some ways, he's a Magic Johnson type of superstar. He's going to make a guy like RJ look like James Worthy. You know, he's going to make Emmanuel Quickly look really good and vice versa. Emmanuel's going to make Scotty look very good. Scotty's our number one. Scotty's a transcendental NBA player. Scotty is not getting the full credit of what he is and what he's going to grow into be. Darko said he's at face of the league. He's not kidding. Darko said he's an all-star. Well, he did become an all-star. His stats are stats like Giannis's, like Kevin Garnett's, like the top players in the league, like Luka Doncic. And that's the thing that everyone wants to conveniently look over. That the fact that Scotty has across the board in every stat category, high productivity. And, you know, how many players in this league can get this amount of blocks along with the steals, along with the threes, along with the assists? No, not many. And that's what I'm saying. The thing about Scott is he's an everyman who can do everything, and he's so unselfish. He's going to make somebody else look like the number one, but he's going to be the best player on the team. RJ may look like the number one at times next year. Emmanuel may look like the number one at times. It could very well be Grady steps up and looks like the number one at times. And it also could be that we get somebody in free agency this summer that fits in that spot. I'm looking at the number 2 position for the Raptors next year. It's the only one that's a big question mark. We know who our point guard is. It's Emmanuel. I know he's not signed officially yet, but it's a slam dunk. I'm telling you right now, Emmanuel Quickly's coming back, and we're going to have our own Kentucky Wildcat that is akin to Maxey. But Scotty, Jakob, RJ, there's your front court. That's the 2 position. Is it going to be a Gary Trent re-signed this summer? I don't know. Maybe. Is it going to be a Grady Dick elevation to the starting lineup for next season? I don't know either. It could very well be an absolutely new player this summer that we sign in free agency that is our starting 2. So that'll be an interesting spot to see how it feels. The one thing everybody's forgetting about the Raptors last season is the second half of the season needs to be disregarded. Scotty Barnes and Jakob Poeltl ain't out there. We have no chance to rebound or have any kind of interior defense. So our record looks absolutely shite. But if you have those 2 guys healthy with Emmanuel and RJ and Kelly and Oshai coming in, and we see the core together healthy finally, because we did not see that last season, everybody together for a good run where they actually get something. You may be surprised how good we are already without adding anybody. So, Victor, I respect you being here. And the only thing I'll do is, I won't talk trash to the fan. I will talk trash about the team if they talk trash about our team. It's really like that. If you come in and you're respectful, I will give you insight on how I feel about your team and how things are going. I'm an open book. But Victor J, respect for a question that wasn't just trying to demean us, and you're just trying to find out what we're doing. Fiercely saying Tristan Thompson rather keeps an eye on Chloe so that nobody snatches her while he's away on serious business. No, I don't know if that's what he's worried about. I don't think that's what he's worried about, Fiercey. Carlos saying, what do you care, Victor? Just worry about Embiid. He's got 2 more years tops. Wow, Carlo really trying to paint a dark picture for the Sixers' future. It's like, you're saying because physically you won't be able to play, or he's just going to go downhill after that. I will say, I want to give a little bit of credit to Joel. He has really gotten better since we beat them in that Kawhi shot series. That series they played against us where they put us out in the first round a couple years ago, he was really, really good in it. I mean, hitting threes. He really has developed and became a really good player. I don't deny that Joel Embiid is not one of the most dominant, best players in the NBA. I know his durability is an issue. And this season is such a grind. It's a war of attrition. And in some ways, people will complain, oh, you're winning only because of injuries. Well, injuries are a reality of the NBA. And in some ways, you do really have to factor in whether it's realistic, somebody's going to be able to make it to the end of the season. And that's why I tell you, it's like I would worry as a Sixers fan that Nick Nurse, who cannot control how much he plays his starters, we know this very well here. He's just going to run it. He's going to run Joel into the ground every single time. Now, if they can do some sort of thing like they did with Kawhi, where there's load management with Embiid, it doesn't seem like he can. Like if Embiid's playing, he's trying to play him 40 minutes almost. And he did that all season. And that is directly causing the damage in Embiid's knee. So it's like, what do you do? Your coach's philosophy is to overplay the starters. And he's going to do it. He has a proclivity to do it. He did it here, and it drove us nuts here too. Overplaying Fred and Pascal, way too many minutes in a lot of games. But he's saying, I just want to squeeze the best lemonade into lemons. The best lemons. I don't want the bad lemons on the bench involved in things. So he will overplay your starters, and he will injure Joel every single year that they're pairing as a coach and a player together. So I'm just saying that's just how it is. It's like, I hate it, but it's just how it is in some ways. I will tell you, I told you all this last summer, and it happened this season. It absolutely happened this season. Let's see. Kareem saying that, Victor, you may think letting go of Siakam will set us back 5 years, but the real travesty is you letting go of Jimmy Butler and paying Harris. Now that's being set back 5 years. Tell us how you really feel. Kareem, I'm going to give you a dunk. Even though I said that earlier, I'm glad that you're reinforcing this because this really is true. And Sixers fans know this, that they really screwed up with Jimmy Butler, Tobias decision. It was really dumb. Daryl Morey's had some success in recent years with some of the stuff he's done, sure. But he has really bad failures too that he tries to hide also, just so I'm saying. Let's see. G saying, love Siakam, but RJ will step up in his place. Barnes is getting better, and IQ will shock people. Well, see, the thing is that we tried it with Siakam and the new thing in the beginning of the season, and it still wasn't working. Siakam is getting into a new level of his NBA career where he's a superstar. And in some ways, he's treating it like he is a superstar, a little bit superstar airs. The thing I loved about Kyle and DeMar when they were in charge of our team is they never stratified themselves above everybody else. Well, to be honest, Siakam was showing signs of stratifying himself above his teammates and not being involved in a lot of the team functions in the way he should have, like DeMar and Kyle would have when they were the top two guys on our team. That was part of the success of the Raptors in the 2010s, is that DeRozan and Lowry didn't have any heirs to them, and they made everything exactly equal with everybody from them all the way down to the 12th guy. And Siakam, in some ways, he was very isolated away from the team last summer and also at different times in different ways. And in some ways, that was part of the weird energy around our team that wasn't connecting. And OG very aloof and weird about his future too. So, and it's weird because as soon as those guys got traded, the energy around the Raptors was really good all of a sudden. And I'm not saying those guys are bad guys. I'm not saying that they aren't like awesome, amazing Raptors that we'll love forever. I'm just saying that it was time for a change and that we couldn't go forward with Siakam and pay him the money he's deserving of this summer. And it would really hurt us growing in different ways, developing and coming up with the crop around Scott in his young age. So I thought that Scott and Siakam could have worked together. The experiment with Dennis Schroeder involved, that seemed like it could have worked at the beginning of the season, but it didn't. And we didn't get good results. So by Christmas, it was time to make the change. And trades with Indiana and New York came next. So that's just how it is. That's just how it is. Fiercely saying at Victor, welcome to the chat. Now, a super team with your MVP, aka the process, who has not helped with a complete different roster. The thing I would say is, and I don't want to take pot shots at Joel too much. He's an MVP, but he hadn't done jack shit to earn it. Most people that win MVP have won championships or got into the finals. And Joel has not done that. So it's kind of a weird situation. Trevor's saying that Jerry West has passed away at the age of 86. This is really sad. Jerry West is the logo. He is actually the guy who's in the NBA logo. That is his shadow that's in the NBA logo. He's an important NBA luminary for 80 years, something like that. He played in the league on the Lakers. His bane of existence was the Celtics. The Celtics beat him every single time in the finals until he finally beat them once. Jerry West got the NBA championship when he was on the Lakers once, I believe. Meanwhile, the Lakers won every single time. The Celtics won every single time otherwise. Of course, Jerry went into coaching also. He coached a couple different teams, and he also coached, and he also became a GM. He was the GM of the Showtime Lakers in the 80s, in charge of them. He was also a coach of the Lakers in the 70s. So Jerry's had a part in the NBA for a long, long time. He's falling out with the Lakers organization and then going to other places like Memphis and being a part of different places. He's very, very kind with his advice, his knowledge, his acumen, and time in the NBA. He was a mentor to so many different people all over the place. I would bet you that Jerry West has talked to Masai Ujiri and been very kind and talked to him in different ways on certain levels, and maybe as some sort of a mentor in some level. I know this for a fact. I think that it's a travesty that the show Winning Time painted Jerry in such a poor light with being a raving, yelling lunatic. And absolutely, that show is a tabloid, cartoonish version of the reality of what the Lakers Showtime era was. In some ways, I wish that show was more documentary style instead of we're going to try and make it a Farrelly Brothers movie, partly. Also, with the way of trying to retell the story. Because in some ways, it would have been doing justice Winning Time if he had made it very much more documentary style and grounded in reality. You guys took embellishments. You guys took a little bit of over characterizing certain individuals, specifically the great Jerry West. And I know he was very pissed off about it and denounced your show and was very mad at y'all. In fact, I think he was doing legal recourse against y'all for sullying his character. Jerry West is a complicated person. In some ways, he wanted to win so badly. in his playing career, and he finally did. When he got it, it was such a beautiful, sweet moment. He, in some ways, deserved to have more rings than he did as a player, but he did it. And, his old teammates like Elgin Baylor and the older Lakers from back in the day, like Wilt. It's if you don't know much about Jerry West, it's very much important for younger fans to educate themselves on the history of the game and just exactly why he's so important. Listen, Jerry's so important that he's in the Hall of Fame as a player and as a GM. He's in the Hall of Fame a couple times over. So you tell me Jerry West isn't important to the NBA when he's a Hall of Famer like 2 or 3 times, I believe. I know he's in there twice. He may even be in there 3 times for different reasons, maybe as a coach and a GM and as a player. So rest in power, Jerry West. Seriously, an NBA icon, an important person. He's so important. He's the logo, guys. He's so important. This is really a sad one. Bill Walton recently is sad. And now Jerry West. These are very, very important top players in the history of the NBA. And man, I'm sad about this, man. I'm sad about this. Rest in peace and condolences and love to the NBA family, the West family, the Laker family, the Grizzlies family, and everybody who cares about Jerry West. I feel this too. Smooth saying, isn't Baines playing again? Not in the NBA, but overseas. I believe that Aaron Baines is playing back in Australia at this point. He is back home playing in his home country. Carlos saying that Jerry West died. Yeah, that's sad, man. The logo died. Well, where y'all see that? Well, you guys are all reporting it. I trust y'all. Now, that guy who came in here and told me that Clint Eastwood died the other day, I don't trust you ever again. It's like when Ohtani landed in Toronto. Chris Haynes reported it. Okay, that's real then. That's real. If Chris Haynes is saying it's real, damn. Yeah, well, we do breaking news on here. I did not know Jerry West had passed until I got on here live. And, I did my eulogy to him just now. Trevor's saying, Seymour, I get the news first in the USA. He's saying he gets news faster than us because he's in the United States. That's a strike, Trevor. That's a strike. Nobody's gotten a strike in a long time. Don't you say that. Now, is it because Meta's Facebook is messed up the news on Facebook that people don't see it as fast? Yeah. Yeah, let's see. Bryce is here. Good to see Bryce holding it down in Kentucky. And we've been talking about Kentucky people today, like Quickly and Maxey. He's saying good morning. And Blackhawk saying Nick Nurse is bad for centers. Yeah, that may be true. I think he's just bad for running down people. It's really true. Carlos saying, damn, you can't even say that was the beginning of the fall of the last core. Not having quality centers it really did us in. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's so much in that. I'm so proud of the Raptors organization. Teresa Resch, Dan Tolzman, Bobby Webster, Masai Ujiri, Shelby, everybody who was involved in what happened when we had to go to Tampa did an extremely good job. We got to understand at that point, we were in a very, very imperfect situation, a very detrimental situation, a situation that can set back an NBA franchise for a long, long time. As much as Masai said this set us back like 2 years or something, it could have set us back 10 years. And the way they held the ship together, the way they were absolute high-quality professionals, setting up things to make it comfortable for the players and making everything happen the way it did was absolutely exceptional. A worse franchise would have done way worse, and it would have been in bad shape. If the Hornets had gone through something like what we went through, they'd be in shambles right now. They'd be in absolute shambles. And this is something that the media and other people don't talk about enough, is the Raptors were successful in the Tampa season because they kept the ship afloat amongst the craziest situation that any NBA team has ever had to go through in the history of the NBA. And then on top of that, as Masai said, we won because we ended up getting Scotty Barnes in the draft after that year. And that's just the damn truth. So, I mean, I give so much credit to our franchise organization, the people that are behind the scenes that we don't know their names, that come and do important special things. Like that bus was amazing. That We the North bus that we were running down there, like Black Lives Matter bus, that was so incredibly badass. And people saw that and they're like, wow, the Raptors. And, we may have picked up some fans down in Florida while we're at the Amalie Arena, but maybe not very many, trust me. In some ways, it was such a bad situation. Of course, the NBA is not going to say anything, and we didn't whine and cry about it either. So I'll say it right here on the Raptor Freak channel. I'm proud of my franchise for weathering the storm during the Tampa year, because that year was not easy in any kind of way. And yeah, we could say Mark and Serge left And that really put us back and messed us up. That was part of it. But the location of where we were playing our home games, which were visitor games because there were fans cheering for the other team in our home arena, well, yeah, that's a little bit different than everything there. Yeah. G saying, Boucher would get destroyed by FIBA centers. There are no 3-second rules, and you need bigs with solid bases that can't be pushed around easily. Exactly. Exactly. Boom goes the dynamite. I'm giving Trivia Champion Season 1 G a dunk because he just eloquently said exactly what I'm trying to say to y'all. We need the wide base and strength of Kem Birch to hold ground, to hold position, to hold guys from getting closer. That's what I'm saying. And as I said earlier, he meets them away from the basket. He doesn't just wait for them to come to him. He will run to them and get right in their face with his hands and arms right across their shoulders. So I'm telling you, that is what we need. FIBA has a ton of big guys. A lot of these teams like Germany, these top teams in Europe, they have huge players in their front line. They're 4, 5, and 3 look like centers, all three of them. So I'm telling you, if you want this kind of stuff, that's why Dwight Powell is so underratedly important to Team Canada also, because he does the same kind of work. So I'm just saying, Boucher can't hold a big-ass person like Jonas Valanciunas out of the paint. He can't. He just can't. I love him. He's a great three-point shooter. He's a fantastic shot blocker. He's an amazing person. He hustles his ass off. I love Boucher to death. But he is not a FIBA-type player, and he can't do it in the way we need him to in that position that is needed for what that position needs in that kind of play. So that's why Birch is the better option. I'm just saying, G, thank you for coming in and espousing very eloquently a point I wanted to make. Yeah. All right, let's see what else we're saying here, guys. Yeah, I'm loving it. We got a live one here today. I love talking Kem Birch. I am a huge Kem Birch fan. I was standing up for him the whole time. People were kind of dissing him, making fun of him. Why is he playing for us? That was all bullshit. And they should have respected Kem the whole time. Yeah, that was making me mad. Fiercely saying, yes, Kem was hitting three-pointers like Kelly and the Gambler. Yak doesn't, but brings different skill set. Yeah. You know, I love it with the Team Canada guys. Like Kelly Olynyk is a good three-point shooter. He has a good percentage. Kem Birch was like a 50% three-point shooter for the Raptors. He didn't take volume, but when they left him open, he was steady, especially in that corner three. He was really, really good with that corner three. And that was actually a misdirection that Nick would use at times. He knew that Kem was pretty good at it. And if his safety outlet on the play was Kem in the corner for three, well, Kem didn't disappoint. That's what I'm trying to say to you guys. Fiercey's respecting Jerry West's passing and saying, Lex, pausing the stream to allow us to view Kem's clip. This means it was good, good, good. Yeah, I'm just saying, I don't actually ask y'all to go watch something on the fly during the show. But yeah, I wanted y'all to watch that clip because you needed to see how much he's getting up off the ground at this point. It's a very, very different thing than when he was playing his last couple games for the Raptors back then. Yeah. Very, very sad about the logo passing today. I'm saying I was talking to my grandfather about him this morning. Wow, this is crazy. Rest in peace. You're talking about Jerry West. Yeah. He was getting up there and he was kind of semi-retired. He's more of an advisor in an advisory role than like a full-on GM. He's that kind of guy, kind of like for us, Wayne Embry, who kind of just hangs around and is like a really, really like knowledgeable, great, vast encyclopedia of NBA, everything. And, he was utilized in that kind of way at this point. No direct pressure or stress on him for anything. But if you can come around and just kind of glean or wisdom on us every once in a while, that's great. So, yeah, that's kind of what his position was in the more recent years, for sure. Yeah, I don't think he's been a full GM in a while. Yeah. Cowboys saying everyone slam dunk that like button. I appreciate that, Bradley. And Seymour saying 100%. Yeah, Tommy's got me on blast with the thumbs. I love it. And Cowboys got the dunk. Is it June 26th yet? Let's go to the draft. There's an interesting news story this morning, Bradley. I'm glad you brought this up. They have invited the first 12 players to come to the draft room for the draft. And this is very telling kind of draft stock and who is like kind of like, because the only way that you get invited to the green room to be at the draft and come up to the stage is they do a poll amongst all the NBA teams. And they kind of give a list of who they think are the top players. And then they look at all of them, and if there's the same names, then they say, okay, this is collectively the NBA teams are looking at these guys because they don't want to invite somebody who has no chance to get drafted and embarrass them, right? So they've announced the first 12 players that have been invited to come to the draft green room, and it's telling. Now, there's 14 guys actually they should be considered. 2 of them did not get invited. One of them, Rob Dillingham, did not get invited because he hasn't done all the proper paperwork to actually be eligible to be in the draft yet. It's going to happen, and he will be in the draft, but they can't technically invite him to the green room until he completes that stuff. Second, Nikola Topic was not invited in this group because he on the down low has a torn ACL apparently. And there's a lot of people waffling on where his draft stock is at this point because of the injury that he currently has right now. So just so y'all know, Topic has a torn ACL, and it's hurting his draft stock currently right now. So he's not in that top, but that's what I'm saying. Those 2 guys would be considered in the top 12. So we could extrapolate that this is the top 14 players. Now, Zach Edey is not on this list for being invited to come to the green room in the first top 12. So that's pretending that he's outside the top 14 in the eyes of the GMs around the NBA. The list is this: Zachariah Rissacker, Alex Sarr, Donovan Klingham, Reed Shepard, Matthias Bozelis, Stefan Castle, Dalton Neck, Tijani Saloon, Ron Holland, Cody Williams, Devin Carter, and Jacoby Walter. Those 12 players got invited to the green room yesterday to be at the draft. They will announce another 12 players in the near future, and Zach's name will be on that one. I'll bet you right there. So I've been doing the mock draft simulator, and I did 5 mock draft simulators, and only once, and out of 5 tries, was Zach available for the Raptors at 19. So yeah, Masai may seriously need to consider trading up if he does want to get the young Purdue Boilermaker on the Raptors roster. So very interesting tell by who gets invited to the draft green room and who's already been there and who is not. And Zach is not on that list, so he's not considered top 14. Interesting stuff there. Yeah. All right, good stuff, and I'm glad you brought that up for me. Blackhawks saying my other daughter met Cam and Flavor Flav. What? Yeah, boy. I love Flavor Flav. I love Public Enemy. I follow Chuck D and Flavor Flav, Flavor of Love, all the things that Flavor Flav is like a living cartoon character, and he's amazing. And he can't be anything but just himself. In some ways, some people may think Flavor Flav is a joke, but no, he's a serious artist, and he is amazing. He is the most, in some ways, he's like Morris Day. He's a hype man. Like Morris Day was a hype man for Prince. Well, Flavor Flav was a hype man for Chuck D and the Public Enemy. So listen, man, I love Flavor Flav. I'm so impressed your other daughter met him. That's so cool. That is so cool. David saying, Victor J, when you say the Sixers are building a super team, does that mean they're trading Joel then? And Seymour's laughing about that. Yeah, I mean, in some ways, that's what I would think. Like, New York may have a package for you, man. Seriously. I don't know. Y'all are talking about wanting to steal somebody from the West Coast. Like you're trying to get Paul George or something? I heard some rumblings that the Sixers are interested in Paul George. Oh, go ahead. Get Paul George. Like he's won anything. Yeah, all right, go ahead. Get Paul George. I know the players love him, and he's like the NBA player's player, like a comedian's comedian. But in some ways, okay, I get it. Young people like him. Young players like idolize him. In some ways, he's like this era's Carmelo to me. Seriously, a player that ain't going to win jack shit in the NBA, but everybody loves their game because they're so smooth and they look so cool. But in some ways, they're not really a winning player. Carmelo, Paul George, same kind of thing. It's like all these guys like Luka and Kristaps, they loved Carmelo. So many people love Carmelo. Well, was he successful in the NBA? No, he wasn't. Because that kind of player, high volume, the way that Carmelo was, isn't going to win. Sorry, it's just not going to win. Yeah. All right, let's see. David's saying, haha. And Cowboys saying, good job, Yuta. I like that too. And Monique's saying, what's up to David? I like that. And Cowboys saying super team. He's laughing about it. David's saying what's up to Mo. I love it. And Cowboys got Mo on blast. And Bryce is saying silly, Victor. Blackhawks saying Raptors should always have 4 players on the roster that play the center position. We have been thin at that position since we won the championship. Yeah, I wondered about this. I don't even care if it's 4. It could be 3. At times we've ran half a center, not even a full center, just a half a center on our team in the last 5 years. And that was really, I hate that. In some ways, I don't like being bullied because we're small compared to everybody else. In some ways, that's part of the reason why the media down south does not want us to get Zach Edey, because they know we'll have a big boy that will bully other people and give us more size. In some ways, we've often speculated on this channel. Is there an NBA ban on helping the Raptors get a center? Because it seemed like nobody wanted to help us. The Cleveland Cavaliers and other teams were stockpiling 7-foot players, and just nobody can have any. It seemed like at some point there was a shortage and nobody was trying to help the Raptors out. And that's why we were dealing with Baines and Lynn. And Ken Birch had to come and bail us out as a Canadian guy that wanted to play here. Yeah, I don't understand the center position with Masai and Bobby in the last 7 years. It's bugged me at times that they don't fill that position with depth. I feel like in some ways it's been a tool for them to silently kind of lose on purpose to short stack their center position. I don't want to do this anymore, Bobby and Masai. This is the league of Victor now. Victor has come and played his rookie season, and it's only going to get worse. Y'all need to get bigger again. And Zach Edey's a good first step this draft. And that's what I'm saying. The NBA and ESPN maybe not touting Zach on the Raptors in any kind of way in mock drafts because they don't want to see that happen. So Masai and Bobby, just like you did when you drafted Scotty, let's go against the script, flip it on them, and somehow land Edey up here, because it sounds like they're really trying to place him in either Miami or the Lakers. And when they do that, that's really kind of like they're trying to shut out other teams that they don't want him to be on, because they do see him as being powerful and important in the future. They want him. They're trying to funnel him to Miami or to the Lakers. And we can flip that script, Bobby Masai, if it's a feasible move that makes sense. Please do that. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, please do that. I will take 3 in the Raptors center depth. I would take 3 positions. If we get 4, that's great too. Maybe the 4th one is a guy who's on the 905 who's ready to come up, like McCurr. I don't know. Bryce is saying Joel pump fakes his fans as much as he pump fakes the NBA players. That's hilarious. Bryce, you're getting a 3-pointer for that. That's hilarious right there. I mean, listen, I watched the ride with the Sixers this year, and I knew that it was going to just be a disappointment. You know, they really buttered them up, thinking them, oh my gosh, championship for sure this year. We're so good. We're too good. And then when Joel got hurt in the second half of the season, well, reality hit for Sixers Nation. Yeah, reality hit. And they were just trying to get it together, piece it together for when they got to the playoffs. And well, reality hit. Yeah, reality hit. And that's just how it goes. There you go. Blackhawks saying Kem sets screens and boxes out. Exactly. He's fundamentally a good center. He understands spacing. He understands those dirty work things that are absolutely essential to be a good teammate and do things right. Setting screens, he's one of the best at that. He really is. And he definitely was a good boxer outer on rebounds, for sure. Yeah. Cowboys saying, I agree, Blackhawk. I believe we will draft one at least to get a couple of good undrafted centers. Yeah. Masai and Bobby, get at least one center in between the 2 picks that you got in this draft. I'm all about Kella Ware. I'm all about Zach Edey. I'm all about Jonathan Mogbo. Yeah, there's some good long arm center type players in this draft. And take a flyer on Bobby Clintman. I don't know. Yves Missy. There's different big guys that are interesting, and they're different flavors of big guys. I think Ware is the closest to Koloko if you really want to replace Christian. So let's see. Randolph's saying, Lex, Kem would be a good vet for us next year, especially if we draft the center. He would help get them up to speed without any drop-off. Well, I'm not totally big on him returning to the Raptors. I definitely want him playing for Canada in Paris. But in some ways, we got Kelly. And Kem is not necessary if we have Kelly Olynyk. I will just say that. I want to get a young center project. And I think that as much as I want an older backup point guard, I want a young center project. That's on my wish list this summer. And if I have any ear to the front office, they don't have to value what I'm saying, but this is how I feel about it. That's right. Fiercely saying, epic statement, Tobias Harris over me. Exactly. That's a statement that will haunt Sixers Nation forever. Jimmy Butler saying that. Yeah, that will. Seriously. Blackhawk saying, I hope we can get a young center this draft and bring Koloko back. That would be ideal, because that would do exactly what you're saying, because then we'd have Jakob and Kelly, and then we draft a young center, hopefully Zach, if not, Kellel Ware. And then Koloko all of a sudden is cleared medically and he can come back. And then all of a sudden, maybe we have a weird Houston Rockets Twin Towers kind of thing like Sampson and Olajuwon with Koloko and Kellel Ware around on the court. Yeah, that's nasty. And in the league of Victor, that might be what we need, considering Oklahoma City's trying to get more 7-footers to put next to Chet, and the same with the Spurs. So, oh man, that would be a glorious turn of events. If Koloko is able to come back and he's with us, rightfully so, and then we do draft a guy like Kellel Ware, yeah, that's nasty. That is nasty stuff right there. Ooh, Bobby Masai, are you listening to me right now? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That's right. Yeah, and as well get a backup center, backup point guard by draft, trade, or free agency. I want a veteran backup point guard. No more trying to develop a young point guard like we did with Malachi Flynn. Let's pay somebody who knows what they're doing already. And it could be a guy on the end of his career like Corey Joseph. I've said that before. It's like bring Corey Joseph back just as an insurance plan for coming off the bench. He'll be steady. He doesn't have to do too much. He won't threaten IQ to be starter. That kind of stuff. We need something like that. Cowboys saying Victor J. Philly set themselves back 4 years hiring Nick Nurse. Wow, that's a bold statement by Cowboy. I would say right now, besides Tyrese Maxey, the best asset that the Sixers have is Nick Nurse. Seriously. And I'm including Joel in this, what I'm saying. In some ways, some Sixers fans are sick of Joel's shit, his falling around, his dumbass flopping. And they value Tyrese a lot, obviously, but they also value Nick over Joel. And in some ways, if it became a thing where Nick and Joel can't coexist, a lot of them will pick Coach Nurse. I'm telling you at this point. Joel's been with that team for a long time, and they've kind of gotten sick of some of the shit that he does and kind of how some of the ways he is. I've heard Sixers fans come in here and tell me personally that, yeah, Joel annoys me some ways, the way he is. Like all the extra shit he's doing. It's just not necessary. It's not helping, is what they say. Yeah. Yeah, let's keep going. Blackhawks saying, okay, wait, no, Fiercey. I'm on Fiercey. Envisioning a super team while being stuck with Tobias's contract, which nobody wants, is crazy work. Delusional. Yeah, they're saying they're going to trade him and move him this summer. I think his contract's almost up, so that may help them. I don't know. Tobias Harris has definitely been part of the problem for the Sixers. Definitely. Blackhawks saying, actually, I thought they used Kem too often. He needed a 3-day layover per game. He shouldn't have played consecutive games. They got to that point where they wouldn't play him on obviously back-to-backs, if not in consecutive games with a day in between. Yeah, they were really trying. Like, honestly, I'll bet you Dr. Alex worked with Kem so closely when he was on our team. Like Kem Birch and Dr. Alex McKechnie, we've got to understand, in some ways in this area, the load management of Kawhi Leonard in the championship year and all the other players since is very smart. We're one of the best of the league. I mean, we made up the term load management with Kawhi. And in some ways, I trust Dr. Alex, just like I trust Masai with front office moves, as far as all the sports science stuff and the stuff that we have to do with injuries and our players. If they're not available for something, well, it's because Dr. Alex didn't give the thumbs up. So I don't think that there was any kind of like overrunning Kem Birch on purpose by Nick Nurse, because Dr. Alex, in some ways, he's the one who has to okay him. And I trust him for those kind of things. So Monique saying, shaking my head at Aaron Rose, a dad joke. Now I understand it, Lex. Yeah, he was just trying to make a dad joke. The name of the player, all right, there were players that the Raptors worked out for the draft recently again. And one of the names on the list was Ticket Gaines. The guy's name was Ticket, and his last name was Gaines. And Aaron Ben Rose, for being such a youngster on his TikTok and being a little Tiger Beat Raptors reporter, he's for the teeny boppers, really, in the way he does his content. He's not very good in some ways. He pisses me off with some of the disrespectful questions he asks the Raptors organization people. But yeah, he made a dad joke yesterday, which is a little bit out of his age range as a young 20-year-old. Yeah, he made the joke that Ticket Gaines is obviously a player that the Raptors organization is interested in. Ticket Gaines, like selling tickets. And he wasn't being serious. He's just trying to make a dumb joke. Yeah. You understand it, Mo. Blackhawks saying JR was more like a small forward, and I agree. He looked good on the team. JR. Kem had surgery after he left the Spurs. JR was more like a small JR. We moved so fast, Blackhawk. The initials are messing me up. Oh, you're talking about Ramsey, Jamias Ramsey. No, he played point guard because he played very defensive guard. Like he was guarding the backcourt and hounding like Fred or Gary would in recent years. I thought that Jamias Ramsey's backcourt defense was amazing. He got some really good steals and breakaway dunks like Gary Trent would. Yeah, I won't agree with this. I think he was playing guard. You thought he played like a small forward, but no, he was bringing the ball up the court and he was passing it to people and getting assists, even though he's more like a combo guard scorer, is kind of how I look at him. Let's see. Blackhawk saying Kem had a surgery after he left the Spurs. See, that may be part of it too. He may have had an even better surgery that actually really took this time. They were trying, and sometimes surgeries don't take correctly. They're not successful. And you continue to have to rehab, and maybe you have to do another surgery. I mean, go talk to Lonzo Ball about this. Seriously. Bryce is saying somehow we are going to get a hold of Desmond Bane. I like this prediction. And you know what? I'm not going to disagree with Bryce because I know how much Desmond Bane loves Darko. They're like this. Desmond Bane is like one of the number one Darko fans in this whole entire league. He loves Coach Rajakovic so much. So if Desmond Bane in some sort of free agency way or something gets the opportunity to reunite with Darko in Toronto, he would do it. He would do it. He's not going to say, I don't want to go to Toronto and play there. No, he's going to say, Coach Darko's there. I love Coach Darko. He's my favorite. And I want to go play for him again. So, yeah, I think that Bryce is really on point with this statement. I don't know realistically with how Memphis values him and the price and how much he gets paid and all this kind of stuff, if this will happen. But if the opportunity came, Desmond wouldn't turn it down. I'll bet you. He would not turn it down. Bryce, I'm going to give you a dunk for that one. 18 dunks for you, my guy. You're at 18 now, Bryce. Very astute. Let's see. David's saying that would be a good fit. Yeah, I mean, he would be interesting. Now, he would have to slot in at the 2 next to Emmanuel, and it would kind of make the backcourt small. He's definitely a starter. This guy is not coming off the bench, Desmond Bane. But it would be an interesting fit. Our backcourt would be a little small, though, with him in the back. It'd be a little bit like Fred and Kyle, but better. They're taller than those two guys. But it's still kind of a small backcourt with Bane and Quickly, if that was our backcourt. Yeah. Yeah, let's see what else is going on. Victor saying, rest in peace, the great Jerry West. There you go. Respect. Victor J, I'm going to give you a dunk for being, a great Sixers fan. You took a dig early. We went back and forth a little bit, but you know what? I like that you stuck around, and I also like that you're, you're being very, you're being copacetic and congenial with the Raptor Freaks right now. So, yeah, Victor J, you got a dunk on the Raptor Freak channel. That's pretty cool. All right, let's see. David's got lemons and mangoes from Cowboy. Yeah, mangoes. There's been some discussion about mangoes recently on the stream. Some mangoes. Kareem saying, I ask this at least once a month. What are the Raptors' top 3 priorities after the draft? Signing IQ is obvious, but what are the other 3? Well, Masai kind of talked about this in his end of season interview. He said they do want to get a backup point guard. He says they do want to recapture some of the lost length in position from the trades this year, that we do need to get bigger again overall as a roster. And then I think that it's totally expected that the other priorities are re-signing Emmanuel, obviously, and also getting the extension for Scotty. Yeah, I think that those are the ones right there. And, yeah, drafting well. And, seeing what's available in free agency and seeing what's possible, those kind of things too. Cowboys saying, win the championship 3 times in a row, full ass. Let's go. Listen, I'm going to tell you right now, Kareem is going to win the dunk again this year. In some ways, I've already declared him the greatest dunker in Raptor Freak history, just like Vince Carter is the greatest dunker in the NBA's history. And Kareem, he could win this title every single year forever. It's not the kind of thing where in some ways, the trivia is kind of in flux, but Kareem's just funny and he's consistently here, and he just gets dunks at a higher rate than everybody else. So, and I'm not even trying to favor him. He just does it naturally. He has the way that triggers me to say that's a dunk. And he may be like Jordan when he was winning scoring titles, and just he's winning the scoring title every year because it's Michael Jordan. He's the best scorer in the league. That's just how it is for Kareem as far as with the Raptor Freak dunk competition. He's just a very funny guy, and he's a very learned Raptor Freak that loves the NBA. And so that's the right combination for the player profile. Let's see. Trevor's saying, it's a show called Air. How about Michael Jordan's mother, who was the one who gave him that deal from Nike? She was a tough negotiator. Okay, you're talking about a show called Air. I haven't watched it. I don't know anything about it. But I know that his mother was important early on in some of the decisions that he made with Nike, for sure. I've heard that before. I'll have to see this, Trevor. I can't opine on this because I have no idea. I haven't watched the show Air. I haven't watched the show Clipped. I haven't, it took me a little while to get to the Donaghy series on Netflix, but I will watch this stuff and I'll get to it, like Winning Time and stuff like that. I'll see it at some point. I've not heard about this show called Air yet until you just mentioned it right now. Let's see. Kareem saying, alley-oop to Neon Moon. We're about to start a three-peat. All right. That's why he's hearing what he's saying. He likes what he's saying. He's picking it up. He's seeing what he's laying down. He's picking it up. That's right. So, all right, we'll give Cowboy a dunk back. He's so often so generous with his lobs that this time now Cowboy's getting one. It's a DeLon Wright 55, my guy. You're at 55, Cowboy. DeLon Wright 55 for him. Blackhawks saying, rest in peace, Jerry West. Kareem saying, I love the movie Air, but the air up there was better. See, that made me laugh, but that's not totally exactly a dunk. I think it's close. It's close. He's very close. Cowboy saying, adapt to you. I've seen that movie, Trevor. Don't mess with Mama Dukes. Has that movie been out for a while? I haven't seen that movie. I don't know why I haven't seen that. Randolph saying, hang on. Randolph Phillips is saying, Lex, my wish list for the team is 3 draft picks, 2 that can play right away and help the team, and the other plus 1 undrafted for the G League and a good free agent. Randolph sounds like he's probably got the grocery list right. We get the 2 draft picks. They become roster players for the Raptors. We get an undrafted guy after the draft like we normally do, like a Marquise Noel, like a Justin Champagny. And we have a guy who's a project on the G League coming up that could possibly be the 2-way undrafted. He probably will be a 2-way. And then free agency. And who knows, trades. I think that Masai and Bobby may do more trades this summer. We don't usually do so many trades like we have this year. But if we're going to redo things and stuff like that, well, there's going to be trades too, probably. Smooth saying, especially for Bruce Brown. Smooth saying, was reading that OKC has a significant interest in Hartenstein, and he could get upwards of $20 million a season. Knicks could very well lose him. I'm hearing this. I think that the Knicks it's sad in a way because they had a really good chemistry at the end of the year when OG showed up, but they got injured and it really derailed their chances in the playoffs. It really, really did. Now, this core that they have, they want to run it back. All the Knicks fans are saying, run it back, but it's not probably possible because there is a lot of weird stuff happening with contracts this summer, and they may have to make tough choices. The other thing that the Knicks could do is they could shoot themselves in the foot, much like the Bucks last summer, and go after a big name like Joel or Donovan Mitchell or Mikal Bridges and absolutely change the team DNA of their team and the look and absolutely have it backfire. In some ways, if I was a Knicks fan, I would be advocating Leon Rose to sit tight and keep the ship together from last season because it's right. And Hartenstein is part of that, but it looks like he may be lured away. They don't value Julius and Mitchell at this point. And it looks like they're willing to put them out there as trade bait to get some of these big names that I've been talking about just now. So, yeah, the Knicks are in flux on the download. They probably shouldn't be. They should be trying to run it back. But knowing New York, and once again, just like what I said about the Lakers fan base being too impatient and wanting too much, well, I think that their front office is too impatient in New York. And they may make some mistakes moving on from this team. I'm not totally sold that OG's coming back, y'all. As much as I know Emmanuel Quickley is going to be a Raptor next season, I don't think OG Anunoby might be a Knick. Seriously. I think he's going to burn them, and he's going to screw them over. And in some ways, Raptors fans are going to be like, yeah, that's our Raptor OG Anunoby fucking over the Knicks. I mean, I'm more sure about Siakam coming back to Indiana and Quickly on a restricted free agency coming back to us than OG sticking around in New York. Seriously. I could see that. Yeah. Most saying W stream, W vibes, keep at it always. Good times approaching. Go Raptors for life. Raptor Freak family crew, strong forever. Go Team Canada. All right, real quick, since you gave me the cutoff and I'm getting close, I'm going to do the wild card opening. This is a Panini card opening of Pablo Banchero, Banchero or whatever. I like to say his name wrong just because everybody says the Raptors' name's wrong all the time. So I'm just counterbalancing Pablo. We're going to open up Pablo's card pack here real quick. Opening it up. I'm not trying to identify him, guys. We're not playing a game. I'm just going to look at him and react to him. Okay, first card off the bat is a very shiny Austin Reeves card. Austin Reeves is overrated. He's a golden boy. In some ways, he's getting that Caitlin Clark treatment sometimes on the NBA. I will say that right there. It's only because he's on the Lakers. If you play for any other team, nobody would talk about him absolutely at all. It's only because the Lakers are overhyped and over-mediated that anybody really talks about Austin Reeves. So that's just the damn truth about him. So, yeah, that's a nice Austin Reeves card. If you like Austin Reeves like Dennis Schroeder and Dennis Schroeder Jr. like Austin Reeves, well, maybe you'll want this card. At the next Raptor Freak get-together, it will be available. I don't want it. All right, let's see. Who's next? Who is that? That is Nicholas Claxton, free agent this summer. He's going to be very highly sought after. I know that Jordi Fernandez has said that a priority for the Nets this summer is to make sure Claxton's in the fold and coming back in their part of their future in Brooklyn. But he is very valuable, and there may be a bidding war. And we'll have to see what happens with Claxton and where he is actually playing next year. Brooklyn really wants to keep him. So we'll have to see. I know some Raptors fans want us to try and get into the gauntlet and try and sign Nicholas Claxton away from the Brooklyn Nets. But I don't know if I want to myself. I mean, he's a very interesting player. He's very, very good. But this draft has a bunch of guys that look like Claxton-type players coming up. So once again, I'll say, why get Nicholas Claxton and have to pay him $20 million plus a year when you can maybe go get Tyler Smith and start developing him into what you want in the same kind of way. Oh, this is a really cheesy card. His teammate, no-show, Mr. Ben Simmons. Victor J., are you still here? That's what I was say right there. Victor J., are you still here? Do you like this card right here? Maybe we could put that one out there for the Philly fans. Ooh, all right, here's a good one. This is our guy. We love this guy so much. The big science, Jonas Valanciunas. New Orleans Pelicans card. Looks so shiny. This is beautiful. I'm say that this probably got Monique's name on it down the road. Monique, do you like this Jonas Pelicans card? We can get this to you next time we get together and give it to you. Let's see what they're saying about Jonas. The Pelicans controlled the boards against the Blazers on March 27, 2023, out rebounding their opponent by a whopping 53-29. Valanciunas did a lot of the heavy lifting for the squad, pulling down a season-high 21 rebounds. Wow, we love Jonas. Jonas is always going to be a great Raptor. In my book, I love the guy. He's a real one. Oh, wait a second. Here we go. Is he still here? Because look at what we got. We got an epic performer card of the big dummy himself, Will Smith Frankenstein, Joel Embiid. Yeah, that's what I call him. That's my derisive name of him. It's like if you took Will Smith and you turned him into a Frankenstein monster, you get Joel Embiid, is what it is. Yeah, there's Joel. It's play him too much, Nick Nurse, and he'll get hurt, and he will not be available for you in the playoffs. That's what it says on the back of the card. Epic performances. Yeah, there you go. Look at that weird green and blue. Makes you think Dallas. Maybe he's going to the Mavericks. I don't know. All right, and here's the last card in this pack. It is, who is that? That is Jeff Green. Journeyman Jeff Green on the Houston Rockets now, but won the championship with the Denver Nuggets last season. So, yeah, there's your Wild Card Wednesday pack opening for my niece, Ansley. I love you, Ansley. And thank you for buying these cards for me with you and Harry buying me these cards. Look at these fantastic, shiny cards that they got me. Yeah, this was her birthday this week, and I wanted to honor her by opening a card pack. There you go. All right, let's see. David's saying, I can't believe I haven't cursed. And we've been talking about Joel for an hour. Maybe I really am a saint. Well, I did throw some F-bombs in there, here and there today. David, Fiercey's laughing at you. David, I'm going to give you a dunk for holding back. I appreciate your professionalism. 114 dunks for David at this point. He is up there. You know what, David? You and Fiercey are 2 and 3, I think, behind Kareem. So you're top 3 dunker this year. It's pretty good. Let's see. Cowboy is saying St. David. That's right, St. David. Fiercely saying W stream 11 o'clock. All right. You know what? Let's do have stuff to still do on my queue here. Let's talk about the Instagram stories. First, we got looks like Slim Duck is at OVO Center putting up shots on his Instagram stories. He's promoting Slim Duck Foundation, of course. We love you, Chris Boucher. Even though I feel like you're not a FIBA type player, we love you. You are a great Raptor forever and a Raptor champion. There he is with the crew at the F1 weekend. Of course, Chris really enjoyed F1 in Montreal this weekend. And there he is with Lou Dort, Benedict Mathurin. I think Nikel was there too. But yeah, really cool to see that group of guys, NBAers, at the F1 race, hanging out. Montreal NBA players, very much full effect. I love it. I love it. I love it. What is this? Slim Duck as mental health champions. The Slim Duck Foundation, our founder, Slim Duck, are proud to support Kids Help Phone for a Feel Out Loud movement, an important reminder for youth everywhere that their feelings always have a place to go. There you go. I love that. So Slim Duck Foundation is helping with the Kids Help Hotline. And that's fantastic. Very much always doing good community work, Chris Boucher. Yeah. All right. Let's see. Gary Trent Sr. is in the gym with Gary Trent Jr.'s sons. No, Gary Trent Jr.'s brothers. And they're getting work in there. And we see the youngsters shooting around. Thad Young's working with the youth in Memphis right now, teaching them how to dribble. He came in and he blocked this kid like it was nasty. He didn't even have a chance. Let's see who else we got. Emmanuel quickly is showing that he's at actually a game, guys. He's at a game in Europe while he's in Italy. So he's at an Italian league game right now. That's pretty cool. We the North 2K posting the stats for their team, and Emmanuel is averaging pretty good. Like, let's see what Emmanuel's averaging for his team. He's got 26.3 points per game. He's averaging 13.1 assists, and he's shooting about 52%. And his 3-pointers, he's shooting 46%. So Emmanuel is one of the leading scorers for 2K. There's actually Biz is averaging more points than him. But Emmanuel is one of the drivers of that team for sure. Let's see. Do I have anybody else I want to talk about here? I don't think so. Yeah, that's it. Those are the Instagram stories. Just light on the Instagram stories today. Let's see what else you guys are saying in the chat. We're gonna wrap it up. Fiercey's got my cutoff, and Smooth saying Evan Siddery is reporting that the Raptors are trying to trade into the lottery. I could see this, and this is where Bruce Brown may come in very helpful. Well, I could see this. So this is very interesting. Now, when they say lottery, that's top 12. So it could be that we're trying to get up to the 12th pick or the 11th pick to get Zach. So very, very interesting stuff. That's a great report. Thank you, Smooth, for giving us the breaking news. Stargate saying Air is very good. That's just a movie about Michael Jordan called Air. All right. I don't know why I've never seen it. Smooth saying that he thinks that they're moving up to get Zach. Okay. That would make sense. Hopefully. It could be somebody else, though. Trevor saying the Las Vegas Aces got their ass kicked last night in the Commissioner's Cup game in the WNBA. Yeah, I love seeing that. Minnesota Lynx. Humbling. The Las Vegas Aces. Apparently, the Aces have lost 3 games in a row, and that's the first time that's happened in like years. So, yeah, in some ways, the Aces have been so dominant in the WNBA, it's been annoying me. I want anybody to beat them. I don't like teams like that. I never liked the Bulls when they were winning all those championships, other than I love Dennis Rodman. And he was my favorite player, and I rooted for him individually. And when they won the second three-peat, I was actually very much on Bulls bandwagon just because of Dennis. Dennis is my favorite player historically in the whole history of the NBA. And the fact that I had to root for them like that. I don't like juggernauts. I don't like dynasties that are overwhelmingly powerful. That's why I absolutely hated what the Golden State Warriors did in the mid-2010s. They were ruining the league, honestly, Kevin Durant going to play with Steph and them. Because it was just like, what's the point of watching the season? Because the Warriors are just penciled in to win the championship at the end of the year. So I don't like this kind of stuff in general. So with the Aces getting humbled, the Aces having some failure, the Aces not being just absolutely perfect. As much as I like Becky Hammon and respect her, I like that they're losing because that league is better with parity. And having one juggernaut team that's absolutely just penciled in as the champion of the year is not healthy for the WNBA. Let's just put it that way. Let's see. Blackhawks saying Hartenstein leaves the Knicks would screw the Knicks because Mitchell gets hurt too often. What if they both leave and they don't have anybody all of a sudden? I'm telling you, the Knicks are walking a tightrope. They think they're all happy and they feel good because of what happened in the postseason and everything since OG came to their team. But they could have a lot of disheartening things happen this summer because of mismanagement and very, very poor move decisions. I'm telling you, it's right there in front of them. I can see it. I can see it. They could actually do something really stupid that they think is going to make their team better, and it could put them behind. and worse. Seriously, I can see this. Hartenstein's a very good player. They need to value the guys that are doing the work for them right now. And if they don't, and they go somewhere else, and the feel of the team is different next year, yeah, they messed up. They messed up. Trevor's saying they said the Sixers have a better chance to get OG. See, that's what I'm saying. In some ways, Nick Nurse and Kyle or whatever is going on there, they're going to try and steal OG from them too. I'd hate to see OG play for the Sixers. I'd much rather see him on the Knicks still than going to the Sixers, but that is a possibility, and that's what I'm trying to say. OG coming back to the Knicks is not a slam dunk, everybody. Blackhawk saying, I don't think OG wants to play for Nick Nurse. Well, in some ways, it's funny because it will be this similar thing to Joel. It's like Thibodeau ran OG to the ground by the end of the year, and he wasn't available in the right way for them in the playoffs when it mattered. They were so happy about having him, and they just overused him in the season, which was so stupid. I was warning the Knicks this right from the start when OG showed up. You can't do this. So once again, Thibodeau, Nurse, this is the same kind of coach, going to run their stars to the ground, overplay them. And if he goes to the Sixers, he'll have the similar injury problems, just like Joel, the way I've described him earlier. Yeah, Blackhawks. Yeah, I don't think OG wants to play for Nick. Yeah, I don't know. I think they're okay. I know Nick would really love to have OG on his team again, but you may be right. OG may be like, I don't really want to play for Nick. I could see that too. I could very much see that too. All right, let me see. Is there anything else I forgot to talk about? No, Porzingis is hurt, so they say it's a rare injury, and that's weird. There's like some sort of rare injury, and he may not be playing tonight. Of course, there is Game 3 tonight. The Celtics are in Dallas to play the Mavericks, and our referees for tonight's game are Mark Davis will be the crew chief, James Capers Jr. is the referee, Kevin Scott is the umpire, and the alternate is Ben Taylor, Fred's favorite. And in the replay center, we'll have ZZ there, Zach Zarba, overseeing things as the overseer. Mwahaha. So yeah, there's your refs for tonight. It's not a bad crew. It's kind of like a no nonsense crew. I mean, Mark Davis being a Navy guy, you don't take no shit. We know about Mark Davis. James Capers being the son of a former NBA ref, he just has NBA ref blood in him, and he has a certain no nonsense way as a senior ref in this league. And then Kevin Scott, well, his down home type of refereeing. All right, let's see. Birthday, real quick. Happy birthday to Earl Watson, former assistant coach. Earl Watson's birthday today. And I believe he is turning 44 today, guys. No, wait, 45. He's turning 45 today. So happy 45th birthday to Earl Watson. Was maybe going to be the next coach of the Raptors, but he was part of the toxic around the Raptors coaches last season. And yeah, I wish Earl Watson well. I have nothing against Earl Watson. In some ways, I blame Nick for the shit that happened last year. And yeah, it's too bad. It's too bad. I guess Earl I don't know what he's doing at this point. I haven't seen him pop up or land on his feet anywhere, so to speak. So who knows what happened with Earl. All right, guys, thanks for watching me today. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I'll be back tomorrow for more fun. It'll be the Thursday Think Tank tomorrow. We'll figure out what the subject will be. And once again, when I do the Thursday Think Tank, members are allowed to call me on the show and live talk on the show about their comments and their opinions on the Thursday Think Tank. So we're going to have to see what the subject develops this afternoon. Maybe Monique will help me figure out what my Think Tank should be on tomorrow once again. And yes, thank you, Monique, for sharing that clip yesterday. If you have not watched it, once again, watch Kem Birch and what he's been doing recently, and you tell me he shouldn't be on Team Canada. Seriously. All right, y'all, let's go Team Canada. Let's go red and white, and let's go WNBA Toronto. Let's go Scotty Barnes, Darko Rajakovic, the Raptors front office, everybody in the great Raptors organization, and also let's go Raptors and Raptor Freaks. That's right. Let's go Raptors. Rest in peace, Jerry West.